Thursday today at the races. I'm here with Dave Rodman today in lieu of Keith Fustel. Dave, how's your week been leading up to this?
Pretty good. I mean, the weather's cooled off since last week, and we've got a good streak of weather coming up, so everything's panning out for a nice, longer racing week this week, right?
We do. We have a little bit of a longer racing week starting here on Thursday. We go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, of course, after that. And let's go ahead and take a look at that track that starts all of the action this weekend. Fast and firm today, Dave. Things are looking pretty good out there.
Yeah, a nice breeze, too. Temperature in the mid-70s, going to the low 80s today. A little bit of a warm-up through the weekend, but no rain in the forecast all the way through at least Sunday, so that's good news. So we're going to count on some turf racing all weekend here at Laurel Park, and today, and 60 minutes out to post time, fast firm.
And there we have it. Let's get into things right away on this Thursday card that does kick off that early pick 5. And it does begin in this maiden 12-5, going 7 furlongs on the dirt. For the girls, 3, 4, and 5. You have the number 6 on top. Hey, Riri, here in the barn of Crystal Pickett, gets Carlos Lopez today.
Well, there are several fillies coming out of a common race. 3 principals in this race coming out of the Thunder Boss race, where Thunder Boss drew off in probably the best performance of her career. Good Story runs second, the over 17 maiden. Jane Street, third place finisher out of that race, came back to win. So you've got Hey Riri, Voodoo Princess. Hey Riri, fourth out of the race. Voodoo Princess, sixth out of that race. Good Story, who was second behind the double-digit winner there, all coming back at 7 furlongs with a tag of 12-5. So, Good Story looks like the filly to beat, right? But she's over 17. 17
right.
Race maiden coming into the race off the claim, and then a Calixto Juarez barn. And there's another change in here. Voodoo Priestess getting the blinkers on. And I thought, hey, Riri ran a pretty good fourth behind. Maybe we can take a look at that race, Callie. We've got some video of Voodoo Priestess, who's spotlighted in here. Also in the race, the 2-horse in the red cap is going to be my top pick, and that is Hey Riri, who broke a tad slow, rushed up, used a bit of energy, had less than a smooth trip in getting up there after a bit of a slow start, went from last to third down the backstretch, and held on to finish fourth. Now here's the eventual winner. Where did this race come from? Even money, and drew off like 1-9 in Thunder Boss. A very big effort for this caliber of horse. So Voodoo Priestess was in the race as well, broke sixth in the field, had some trouble at the 3/16 pole, and ran on to finish sixth. I mean, there's argument for blinkers on for Voodoo Priestess. She can run better. I think there's an argument here for Hey Riri, who broke just a tad slow and used up a lot of energy down the backstretch against that speed of the 11-length winner, Thunder Boss in here. And, of course, Good Story. What's the story going to be? Is it going to be maiden breaking day finally or not for her? I went 6-3, 5, and 7.
As Dave Rodman kicks off our early pick 5 there in race number 1 with his choices. Now let's kick off the early pick 4. And, of course, now we have a Dave Rodman early pick 4 ticket. Let's take a look at how he plays it. Talk about it, Dave.
Yeah, no single, though I almost wanted to single the one horse in the second race. Sure can. We'll talk about her in a moment. But there's a horse off the claim that kind of intrigues me, who's going to be a better price. Third race is for 2-year-olds. I don't have any hot steam in there, but there's a few angles that we'll speak of here when we get to race 3 about first-time starter percentages and second start percentages. The Brittany Russell horse finished third and second in there, is going to take a lot of money as well from the outside. The 7 in the fourth race, going to narrow it down to 2, the 6 and the 9, and in the fifth race, going to use the 2 and the 7 for a reasonable ticket there in the fourth.
$16 for Dave Rodman's early pick 4, and it does begin in this claiming 40,000, going 5.5 on the turf for the girls 3 and up, which have never won at 2. Let's go ahead and talk about the number 4 and take a look at Gatita Suave, and then we're going to talk about your selections kind of surrounding that. Gatita Suave running under Rudy Sanchez, Salmon, Axel Concepcion today, but we're taking a look back at that June 16th effort.
Right, rated 2 wide, swung 5 wide in the stretch with a rally to finish second Passion sprinting on the turf. Her last race in the Christiana, obviously, they took a shot there. She was 37-1, going long on the soft turf course. Now she's back in against her kind this afternoon for the $32,000 tag. Should be more effective with a good kick late, as you see, finishes second here to a filly who's in good form right now, mare in good form, named Lily Simone. Gatita Suave closing in the burgundy cap there on the outside, the 7-horse. Good, nice late kick, running best of the others in the stretch, but no catching Lily Simone that day. I didn't go that way, though, on the ticket, Callie.
No, it didn't.
Yep.
You went with the number 1, Sure Can, for Brian Lynch. Gets Fergal Lynch in the saddle, gets the blinkers on, and it draws the rail.
Blinkers on. She has speed, 18% in the winner's circle for blinkers on for Brian Lynch, who doesn't run many horses here in Maryland. I think he started 6 horses here on the circuit, Laurel, Pimlico, in the last few years, but he's won 2 of them. One of them was a stake, and the other, I believe, was an allowance race. So ships in here, perhaps looking for some greener grass, no pun intended, seeking the turf after what's happened there in Kentucky. You know, it's a little tougher there. So let's go to the one Sure Can. Sure Can, hopefully going to show some good early speed from the inside. 10th in an allowance race last time out at Ellis behind Playlist. Playlist is now 3 for 6 lifetime. 3 in a row. She's won 3 in a row. That feels a little tough for her. I think she finds softer company. Dropping in for the tag today. Going to use some early speed on the inside. Second after a layoff for a barn that doesn't ship here. And when they do, I think they mean business. You're not going to get much price on her. She's a 2-1 morning line favorite. I guess 2-1 would be acceptable. The filly that mare that intrigues me is Tritone Gal. Many times in the past, I've seen her make these moves around the turn on the dirt like she was going to win. Always had some run, has some kick, claimed out of her last start into the Jose Magana barn, and now steps up from 25 to 40. She was 4th on the turf behind Basarati, who went on a little streak of her own and made the ascent to win the Stormy Blues Stakes after winning a couple on the grass for Brittany Russell. So let's see something maybe perhaps that they can get her to sustain that run and get her to run a little bit better, and that might be all she needs in this spot off the claim and the raise. You know she's going to be a price, and that's the reason I included her in that early pick 4 ticket. And Gatita Suave was seen on the video, and Alexis's Storm is a filly. It was first time Lasix, which has been a strong angle for Chuck Lawrence. I thought this filly would be a very nice horse last year. She broke a maiden at 2, kind of a deceptive 4-length win. She's kind of twitching her ears around a little bit and looked like she had more run. Then they stepped into some steep water, brought her to New York in the Astoria, and finished a good second, not disgraced. Speed faded to second behind Devious Dame in the Astoria at Belmont, and then she's come back slowly but surely from the end of her 2-year-old year into her 3-year-old season, running in the Parks Futurity. A lot of respect there at 5-1. First Lasix, will she like the turf? I can't see much top and bottom to say, oh yeah, this is absolutely strong turf pedigree, that maybe Chuck Lawrence sees something there. And again, I thought she had some talent last year.
And maybe just kind of perhaps reinvigorating her. We'll find out as Dave Rodman goes 1, 2, 4, 6 in that early pick 4. Race number 3 is a maiden special weight for the straight 2-year-olds, going 5.5 on the dirt. Dave, you have the number 2 on top, Moscato for Cal Lynch, William Humphrey. Just make a note. Oh, no scratches in this race, excuse me.
Yep.
Moscato for Cal Lynch, William Humphrey
4's out
on the inside. 4 is out. There we have it.
Yep. Okay, Moscato, first-time starter from Cal Lynch. First, you see the static horse, Cal Lynch, with first-time starters strong and a positive ROI. This is a full brother to Synthesis, first Samurai out of Trust and Hope, a recent second in the John Nehruda Grade 2 in New York. First-time starters in Maryland, 2-year-old dirt runners. Cal Lynch is 5 for 22, 23%, so you've got strong stats and a strong pedigree there from Moscato. Number 3, Passion. here's our stat of the day. Second out for trainer Justin Nixon for a colt that was fractious in the post parade in his debut behind Speedy Nest. Nobody was going to beat Speedy Nest that day. Went up by 3, but maybe lost a little bit of his gusto in the post parade. He was a bit tough to handle, unruly, checked at the 3-ace pole, kind of a disaster start. But second start for trainer Justin Nixon, maybe the trick. He's done this before. Second start, 4 for 12, positive ROI, and a $3.22 ROI. Second start for trainer Justin Nixon for 2-year-old for dirt runners in the last few years for Nixon. So I think he's going to run a lot better. You got to really consider him a first-time starter in the race between being fractious in the post parade and the trouble he had in the race. The 6th horse, Sir Mason, interesting horse with some bullet works. Trainer Carlos Munoz looking for his first win in 2023, but he's 2 for 35, first-time starters, not strong stats, but he brings a gelding with some bullet works, working at Colonial, and brings them to the dirt here in Maryland. So interesting, and it attracts Angel Cruz aboard too as well. 2, 3, 6, and 7 under the overpass, going to get a lot of play in the spot from the Brittany Russell barn.
Interesting maiden special weight there in race number 3, that second leg of the early pick 4. Race number 4 does kick off that rainbow pick 6. We have a nice little carryover, I believe about 8,000. But it does begin in this claiming 40,000. Before we get that information, it is a 5.5 on the turf event for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch in the 3 and the 4. Don't worry, we will get to that ticket. Oh, here we go. We have that carryover, 8,015. That will certainly climb by the time we get to race number 4. Taking a look at my ticket really quick, I gave you a bit of a bare bones type of structure. Single in on race number 7 in the number 7 as I scroll down it to Canadian Ginger in that 5.5 turf starter optional event. I go 4 wide in race number 9 with a scratch in there. I added in Miss Alouette as well. But race 4, I go ahead and go 3 deep in that. And let's take in to that start of the Rainbow Pick 6 for my $19.20 ticket in that claiming 40, as mentioned. 5.5 on the turf for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch the 3, scratch the 4. Never win 2. Dave, let's talk about your top selection in the number 9. On the outside, King of Song for Brett Brinkman gets Charlie Marquez
Brett
today.
Brinkman bringing in a couple of horses here in Maryland. He started a few here in the past. He's 2 for 6 in the winner's circle here in Maryland. So he's bringing a couple of horses with some live chances today, one a little later on in the card. His last race at Delaware Park kind of intrigued me a little bit. He showed some speed chasing. Didn't look like he handled the turns that well at Delaware, but he's got some early speed, and I think maybe going to try a wire job in here with King of Song. The horse that beat him 2 races back when he finished 10th at Churchill Downs, showing speed in there. High front is a Jonathan Thomas runner that came back to win after that score at Churchill in May, went up to Canterbury and byering up with a huge 95 buyer on the turf. He's got speed. That's kind of Brinkman's MO. He's a horse trainer who's got a lot of horses with good natural early speed, turf and dirt, and he's got a couple on the van this afternoon shipping into Maryland, and this is one of them with a chance. I went to him because I think he's going to be a little better price than 6 Speed Warning. That's one of your top picks on your ticket too, right? From the Stidham barn. He didn't take too kindly that turn at Monmouth last time out, but maybe coming back into that race at Delaware, 2 back behind S. Muffin. I mean, he was in the S. Muffin race with Speed Warning and on June 2nd, and Speed Warning beat King of Song. But maybe King of Song perhaps can use that early speed to kind of dazzle him this afternoon. What do we make of the 10, Switzer?
Well, let's see. Heath Usel's got a replay of the 10 for us all the way back in 2022 at Ellis Park for Schweitzer. Now in the barn of Anthony Ferrier, trying turf for the first time with Sheldon Russell, who they strike together at 38% together on the turf. So I think Ferrier's just taking this one back to where he needs to be. This one able to come up from off of the pace, but as you can see, here in Ellis Park, had that inside trip and was able to make something of it.
Yeah, it was third in there. That's way back, August 2022. New barn now. Claim 2 back into Ferrier's barn. Ran a solid second to Carbellian Quest on the dirt. Coming back to the turf, he's 0 for 5 on the turf. Is he as fast as some of the other speed in here? I don't think so. So I think
I
he's
don't
going to
think
have
he
to
needs
close,
be.
right? He's going to have
He
to.
doesn't exactly. He
Gonna
doesn't
kick.
need to be. Yeah, he's going to
Yeah.
have to have that end kick. So I think it's just. I think he's tried. He's tried with this one on the dirt. It's his usual mo, and so I think Farrier's been getting a little bit braver on the turf as
Mm-hmm.
of lately. So this Schweitzer is just a reflection of that.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of the unknown here. I wouldn't let the 0 for 5, talk against playing him for
Correct.
sure. And if the pace is quick enough, he can come rocking for sure.
Absolutely, as Dave Robna goes 9-6, 10-7 there in the fourth. That starts the Rainbow Pig 6. Race number 5 is a claiming 10,000, going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the girls 3 and up, which have never won 2. Also kicks off the late pick 5 as well. Dave, you have I Have Courage underneath, and just a heads up, a last minute scratch in the number 1 Anti-Rona for this race in race number 5 for Tim Keith, Sheldon Russell. Regardless, I will have to change. I will have an update for you later on. But let's get to Dave's picks. You go with I Have Courage for Carlos Mencia, Richard Monterey, a combination that's been doing pretty well pretty recently.
I'm looking at this race on paper. Where's the speed?
Exactly.
It looks like I Have Courage is going to have kind of things her own way. It's not 6 furlongs, it's 7. She's going to have to extend for another eighth of a mile, but she did go gate to wire, going 6 back in May with a double-digit score here at Laurel Park, and probably the best race of her career, certainly the best buyer of her career. Came back to match that number at Pimlico when finishing third to a next out winner as well in Willful Desire. Claimed 2 races back. Second off the claim for Carlos Mencia Barn, positive ROI. Slight positive ROI, but a good 11 for 60, 18%. Second off the claim for Mencia. I thought she ran okay. First off the claim behind Blame Catalaya, who came, I believe, closing in that race, was fan 6 wide at the quarter pole. Today, going 7/8, down inside there. I don't think there's a lot of speed to match her early. Top Mule's been up front, but that was an opening quarter at 25, going a mile into 16. So I think get this first call with a good break.
And there we have it. What do you take about Voodoo Mama Juju, who possibly could just be tracking right off of that? Blinkers off for Rudy Sanchez.
Yeah, I like your pick and easily could have gone the other way.
Sure.
Blinkers off here for Rudy Solomon. Route to sprint, turf to dirt.
Yep.
I think we've used this angle on the show before in a stat, right? Didn't work out that day. Route to sprint, turf to dirt for Rudy Solomon. 30%, 7 out of 23. And $3.69 ROI. If nothing else, I love her name.
Exactly. You say it great. So it's a fun name to say, Voodoo Mama Juju, as Dave Rodman goes 2-7-6-5 in race number 5, and we'll be right back after this commercial break to dig into the rest of Thursday's card.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn to. The team more high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
And welcome back here for race number 6. It does kick off that jackpot super high 5 in race 6 for most days here at Laurel Park, and it does kick off in this interesting packed claiming 8,000, going 7 furlongs on the dirt, which is a bit of a breaker here, Dave, in this race. Scratch in the number 7 Curlin's Thrill. And this also kicks off the late pick 4, by the way. You also have the number 3 on top, Savoy, for David Mohan, gets Charlie Marquez in the saddle.
No clue in this spot. I mean, looking at this race over and over again, there are many horses that can win here. I just thought Savoy would be a huge price in here, along with Icati's Verve on the outside.
Sure.
I think they both have chances in here. Throw the spaghetti against the wall and see if it sticks, right? So that's what I tried here. Savoy, forget his last race, beating 21 lengths on a good track. He's a horse that's had a lot better races in the past against tougher horses. and I think he's going to be tactically placed today. Sometimes the good Savoy shows up, sometimes the not so good Savoy shows up.
We'll find
He can
out.
be near the lead, he can come from off the pace. Don't know what we're going to get today, but I know we're going to probably get a price in here. So I'm going to use this 8-time winner in Savoy for the Mohan barn. Always a good barn to play at a price. A 2, Military Hop, 8-time winner as well. Chased the very fast pit stop man last out. I'll discount that. He's not that fast early. Good effort, though. To his name is Sue. 2 races back. Out of a race that produced a good winner, 3 back in Brilliant Chase, who stepped up in class to win. The Military Hop has been a bit unreliable this year. When you think he's going to win, he's in a good spot. He just kind of follows horses home, finish second. But like Savoy, he has some backlash about him as well. Ace 9-9, I think, is in good form right now. And discount the muddy track last time out at Charlestown. And you got a horse that should run well here. 7 furlongs. I think he's going to love this distance. He can close. I don't believe he'll be on the lead, but I think he's the in-form kind of horse right now at the stage. Another 8-time winner in here. In the 6 and the 11, Icati's Verve. You got this horse in your mix too, right?
Yes.
I mean, what do you see there? Because I tell you, this is a horse who's kind of likes Laurel. He needs a pace in front of him, and he comes rolling. He doesn't have much early speed as well, but he's run some of his best runs here at Laurel, his best races here at Laurel in the past. I've got, could go on and on about this, but I don't want to spend 35 minutes talking about the race like I did looking at the race.
So we won't do that here today as Dave Rodman goes 3-2-8-11. Icati's Verve. I think the 7 furlongs is going to hit him in that sweet spot there. Race number 7 is a starter optional 20,000. Short on the turf, 5.5 to be exact for these girls 3 and up. Dave, before we get into your top selection, let's talk about a horse that is probably going to be playing a lot of play. And as you just said about a horse in last race, is in really good form. Let's take a look at Canadian Ginger from that effort last time out, just entering that turn first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Keith picked this video out, right? And I was
Yes.
wondering why. And just to show, obviously, his good form right now. But there he is, just outside there, tugging right along and moving right into contention and to the lead. Look at the snug hold the rider's got on him, right?
super comfy looking right there
Yeah.
for Axel.
And so, yeah, he's the in-form horse for sure. I'm not taking a shot against him, so to speak, and except that maybe I think the Brett Brinkman runner in here Expect Hours. He's putting 2 on the van from Delaware, has some talent, and has equal numbers on my part, and can stalk the pace and close. He can go to the front or he can stalk. We've seen a stalking mode from Expect Hours at Pimlico last year when she was 4 against $20,000 claimers. That race would probably do. Not far off of Canadian Ginger's last effort of a 78 buyer and the race 2 back at Pimlico when she ran a 71. I think you got to use kind of both of them in there, but for the price, I think Expect Hours is going to run big today. I'm a Louisiana bred. She's a Louisiana bred.
I love it.
Made her best bet.
There we go.
Okay.
There we have it. Dave Rodman, 3-7-4-5, in race number 7. Let's go on to race number 8. In this allowance optional, claiming 62.5, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the straight 3-year-olds. Let's go ahead and take a look at On the Mark from that effort on the 2nd of July here for Joanne Schenkel. Now gets Angel Cruz in the saddle.
Yeah, this horse is going to be in a great stalking spot this afternoon. First scratch the 4 Mobile, the 7 Collectorate out of there. I think there's going to be a sufficient pace set up for him this afternoon. He's in that blue right here highlighted, and there you see him. He's getting a nice trip, one off the path. And where's he going to go, inside or outside? Well, we're not going in there, are we? Yeah, no, we'll tip to the outside right
Thinks
off the
about
heels of
getting
runners. And there he is. Kind of has a tendency to run on his left lead. I've seen him run like this before. But he still grinds it out. Runs a good second there on the mark behind Johnny Z from Albany. Very quick. Now it was 5.5 now. Going 6 furlongs. Think he's going to get a little bit more ground. He's in the PT, the perfect spot this afternoon. And I'll take 8-1 if I can get it on him on the mark.
Well, you have 8-1 as your top selection. Your second selection is 15-1 with Running River for John Salzman Jr., Charlie Marquez. Charlie Marquez, in your eyes, potentially having a really good day here today, Dave, to start off Thursday. But let's talk about that one for a second.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the speed. Look where he was last time out. First call second, second call second. Behind who? Ladd needs a handler. How quick is Ladd needs a handler? So this horse is going to be on the lead, and he seems to be the pace, the target for On the Mark to run to. I do like his race 3 back. He broke his, the allowance race at Monmouth. 2 winners out of that race. The second place finisher, third place finisher, both came back to win. They won at higher levels. That means to me this horse is sharp right now, and he's going to be the one to catch. Don't underestimate the speed of Running River in race 8.
As Dave Rodman goes 3-6 at 5-8 there in race number 8 in that nice 62.5. Let's go ahead to race number 9 in our nightcap of the day in this claiming 16,000, which have never won 3. For the girls, 3 and up, a mile and 16th on the turf. Scratch the 1, 3, and 6. Don't tell Darren. You land on the number 10, Pounding Music for Linda Albert. The meet has been going very, very well for her with Yomar Ortiz on top.
Yeah, what a race from Liquidator, right?
Yes.
Right, for Linda Albert's barn. The barn, just a limited amount of horses, just clicking on all cylinders. This mare is coming back off a time away. Hasn't run since December of last year on a good main track here at Laurel Park. But coming back off the rest onto the turf, won the Maryland Million Turf Distaff Starter Handicap last year. And though most of Linda Albert's horses kind of need a race after a layoff, I'm going by the horse. She likes to win off the layoff. Pounding Music, I'm talking about. October of 2021 to April 2022, breaks the maiden off a layoff on the turf over this course. She's just a very, very consistent mare, and if she runs her best race off time away, I think she can win. Obviously, I think they have some bigger things in the future in the fall for her here at Laurel Park, but she's won off the layoff before, and I think she's the fastest horse in the race when she's right. For Mary Jane Chrome, ultra consistent, no matter who they put her up against. Her only blemish, the lone blemish on Mary Jane Chrome's line is last year in August, and then she was laid up after that. For the winter, came back with a vengeance after time away and should improve off that effort. She was in for that waiver tag last time out, back in for the 16 today for Mary Jane Chrome.
Yep.
The 9 True Blue Pearl comes out of the race won by Don't Tell Darren, who's scratched out of this race. A little bit of late energy last time out. I thought that she'd be much closer to the pace on June 17th, but she wound up double digits from the front in that race. Don't Tell Darren pulled the upset, but she closed nicely with some late kick in there after angling out at the 3/16. Axel Concepcion aboard today, and I think we'll try to get her much closer in the game and in the race.
As Dave Rodman goes 10-4, 9-5 to wrap up our chat about these races here on Thursday. Let's go to lightning round and let's dig in a little bit more on those selections, like Dave in your best bet in race number 7. The number 3, Expect Ours for Brett Brinkman, as you mentioned, is shipping in a couple today with Charlie Marquez on top.
Yeah, I saw the name Brett Brinkman on the overnight, and I said, wait a second, he's run here before. And he has with a lot of success. Only a limited amount of starters, has won a couple of races, including a stake, puts a couple on the van from Delaware Park, I think means business this afternoon. The thing that tipped me to her is she doesn't have to have the lead. She's closed and rated well off the pace before. So whatever they want to do with her, I think they're in for the money today.
Yep, absolutely. And then just right after that, in race number 8, is your value play, number 3 On the Mark for Joanne Schenkel and Angel Cruz.
Well, Mobier's out of the race, right? So that takes one of the speeds out.
Right.
As we mentioned on the show, Running River, I think, will be on the lead in that spot. And 7, Collectorate is out, who perhaps may have shown some early speed as well. So maybe not as much speed in here for On the Mark, but this gelding is super, super consistent. I love that race at Laurel we showed you earlier behind this very speedy Johnny Z from Albany. I think maybe you'll see almost a repeat of that, where Johnny Z from Albany today will be the target. Today will be Running River, and here comes On the Mark. Will it be in time? 6 furlongs probably The differentiator is how what do you know the difference?
Yeah, as Dave Rodman gives you his value play of the day, a good one at that. Now let's
Differential.
just
I think.
differential. Yes. Let's go
Difference.
the difference. That's the difference of it. Let's go into that leaderboard so far. Just to give you a quick update, jockey standings, of course, we saw this coming. Jamie Rodriguez flying away with 27 wins to kick things off for not kick things off, but continue things on for the summer meet here at Laurel.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the names on the board there, right? At any given day here at Laurel, one of those riders can win 2, 3,
Yes,
right?
easily.
So the jockey standings, though, you see Jamie Rodriguez with a nice lead there. Axel Concepcion putting horses in the game. Sheldon Russell, Angel Cruz, and Carlos Lopez.
And then, of course, our trainers' standings, a little bit more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Ness and Brittany Russell fighting for that top position. Michael Trombetta and Rudy Sanchez-Selman having a great meet, as well as Jerry Robb.
Yep, and Jamie Ness and Brittany Russell, not much between them. Both barns loaded with horses. Trombetta runs everywhere, right? And look, he's the third in the standings here at Laurel. And Rudy Solomon, perhaps a fewer numbers in the barn, but still there. And Jerry Robb, always one to watch and circle in your program when he sends out a runner, especially those young horses, right?
Yes, the first-time starters, second-time starters, third-time starters. So we will see what else is in store for us here on Thursday. And we'll be right back for Dave, this guy right next to me, to give us more updates on changes and scratches. And we'll leave it to you, Dave. I will sign off for now, though.
Have a good day.